I read mine the other day, and it's really a rather impressive document and says some very impressive things. Now, the first thing I'd like to explore with you is, if I'm a United States citizen, am I entitled to a passport even though it's the property of the United States government? In other words, if I ask for one, do they have to issue one to me?
Well, they have to issue you a passport if you have met all your qualifications, for it.
And what sort of thing might disqualify me for a passport?
Well, you can lose your citizenship by taking certain steps, affirmative steps against the government. In the old days, voting in another country was sufficient. Then it was interpreted you had to do more. You had to, as if, fight or specifically renounce or tear it up or so. That's probably the only way you could really lose it at this point.
But really a passport's a fairly automatic thing for most people in this country. Is that a fair thing to say? In other words,
Yes.
if they apply for one, they're going to get one back. One thing that I wanted to explore, if ever so briefly, a lot of people don't have passports because they've never had occasion to leave the country. And if all of a sudden, either because they get the whim to go on a trip, or maybe they have some emergency that they need to get out of the country to go someplace else for some sort of emergency, how quickly can someone get a passport? And maybe that's something better directed to Irv or either one of you.
Well, we've seen situations that they will do it on an emergency basis. If you have a reason, especially emergency tour, you can go there, show them the ticket, and we've seen one-day service.
That's not uncommon in a real emergency. Normally, for a person who appeared at a passport agency, he would get his passport within 3 to 5 work days. If you apply for it large distances away and it has to go through the clerk of the court or through a postal service, then it can take several weeks.
And I think that's one thing we ought to emphasize for people, that passports really are very easy to apply for, because you can apply in virtually every county in California at the clerk's office or through designated post offices. So
that's correct.
It's not as if you have to make a long trip to get one.
It's good for 10 years, so get it before you think about traveling.